All right, thank you, Mayor. It's going to be hot tomorrow, so make sure you stay hydrated if you're going to be out there in the heat. Now, one of the events to attend will be addressing some of the same issues of the civil rights era that continue today. Marking the 58th anniversary of the March on Washington, activists from all over the country will be in D.C. to make what the late Congressman John Lewis called good trouble. I chatted with the organizers to learn more about the rally. So we have with us Tamika D. Mallory and Reverend Mark Thompson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much for having us. It's good to see you.
I know, it's a blessing to see both of you guys. So tell us, why is this event so important and why is the date so significant?
Well, I'm going to allow my co-partner here, co-pilot in organizing the march, Reverend Mark Thompson, to speak to that, as he's been one who's been engaged in the march for many years. I don't even know how many years at this point, Mark, that you have been helping to lead the activities at the Lincoln Memorial. So I think it's fitting that you speak first.
Well, again, Mark, thank you for having us. This is a sacred day in our history. I think to many of us, this is American history's equivalent to the Sermon on the Mount we read in the Bible, except the person giving the sermon was Dr. King 58 years ago, and still trying to live up to those beatitudes he spoke about: jobs, freedom, justice. And we return there as often as we do to invoke that image. But this Saturday in particular, since we just recently lost John Lewis, we're invoking his words. We're going to make some good trouble. This will be a make good trouble rally. And it's good to be on the air in the place of my birth, Washington, D.C., because a part of what we're going to do on Saturday, and everybody's talking about voter suppression, the lack of voting rights, and the most long-standing example of voter suppression is right here in the District of Columbia, because we still don't have statehood. And so statehood will be a big part of what we do on Saturday. And that's why we want people to come out on Saturday and make some good trouble with us.
And again, it's more than just a rally. You guys actually, again, are fighting for a lot of causes. Give us some of those causes you'll be focused on during the rally.
Well, we're going to be actually joined by many of the advocates who fight for these issues every day. The gun violence awareness community will be there. Clearly, there is an uptick in gun violence that we're seeing around the country. And so they will be there rallying with us and calling for the federal government to focus on violence as a public health crisis. Reparations is clearly a major part of our platform and the issue that we care about. And we believe, Mark, that reparations will help us to address many of the other issues and concerns that we have. Police accountability is one of those issues. We're dealing with women's rights. We're dealing with separated families, as we've been seeing some real serious things happening across the nation with families being separated at hospitals. I think I saw you talking about the family of Saisha and Ty, who lost their baby, both of their babies just recently. We're going to be dealing with climate justice. Obviously, the voting rights issue is front and center on this day, but we recognize that without our voting rights, we would not be able to maintain and or fight for any of the other issues that matter to our communities and things that we've been demanding for far too long. So the platform, I think there are 10 issues that we're addressing, and we ask folks to go on social media, specifically to Instagram, to follow us on Good Trouble DC, at Good Trouble DC, where you can get the entire platform.
And so you guys actually both knew the man, John Lewis, and we have to wrap, but could you just briefly tell us how you would feel about this event?
Well, I'll just say really quickly that not long before John Lewis passed away, he wrote a letter to me saying that he wanted me to continue to make good trouble, and I'll never forget that. And so I'm going to Washington, D.C. In